Many blessings to everyone. I hope that you guys are doing well today. It is Tuesday, it is February 12th, 2 days before Valentine's Day. There's love in the air, yes? I feel kind of funky about Valentine's. I think it's a beautiful day to share, but of course, I'm an advocate about being able to share those kind of energies, whether it's love, light, peace, appreciation, every day, not just on certain days marked in the calendar. And so while I love it that we have a day that's called Valentine's, and there's so many people that do take the time to express their love and appreciation for others, I do always advocate, invite people to realize that every day is a day to do that, to be able to share, right? And so I send you bursts of love, light, and knowing that you're loved today, tomorrow, Valentine's Day, and every day. Yes? Well, I was inspired this morning to share a little bit about a word that I'm often asked about, and the word is the 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 name, I should say, is empath. What is an empath? Many people send me emails and messages asking me if they are, they want to know if they're an empath. And if, they ask if, they share some of the feelings that they feel and want to know if that qualifies them to be an empath or not. Um, I feel that we are all empathic in some way or another. In some ways, the word empathic can be comparable to the word intuitive. And we all are part of the universal life force. And as such, we all have the ability to tap into our intuitive knowingness, you know, and that knowingness allows us to observe and to feel many things, all things really. It's just that we don't allow ourselves to fully, to the full capacity, to know. And actually, this environment is a playground to learn how to reconnect to that all knowingness. Um, but I sense that at this point in time in our ascension, um, it's not capable, the environment is not capable to allow us to have that all knowingness all of the time. The energies are not here to sustain that kind of knowingness, which is why we find ourselves out of the body, going to higher realms and meditating and floating around in the cosmos. Because when we enter those realms, we're in a higher frequency, and so it allows it can sustain the awareness of that all knowingness. Of course, we are able to tap into that place of all knowingness here, um, but it's not always the case, and most of the time we have to find ourselves again out of the body in order to really be able to tap into that. Tying that into an empath, though, an empath is ha- has possesses a very high sensory of being able to feel and to see and to interpret energy, um, and whether they want to or not, they can actually sense and feel vibrations, feelings, and to some degree have an ability to pre-know, so precognizant, to know the unfolding of certain situations and things that are in the realm of possible existence. And I'm using these words carefully because um, as a seer or an empath, we may be aware of many things, but that does not mean that we have the all say to it. We have to remind ourselves that we should be mindful that every aspect that is in this existence is a co-creator, and as such they can co-create and recreate and write the script and rewrite the script, no matter what a seer sees. And so I like to be mindful of saying that at this moment when I'm reading someone, sharing insight with someone, that it is a potential. And the potential doesn't mean that it's not out there as a possibility. It means that it could be changed, it could be altered by the feeling of someone, by the decision of someone, by the execution of intention. And so when we share insight from an empathic or an intuitive space, if it resonates, then that individual, by virtue of having a resonation with the presentation of a possibility, they actually enhance the frequency, and thus it can definitely become a manifestation. Sounds complicated, right? It really isn't. I just want to make sure that I'm putting up sharing the foundations of not violating someone's free will by saying that a seer or an empath has the final say in anything. We're just a vessel that interprets a potential seed that's out in the creative field. And again, it is the receiver who does the final execution of that manifestation by resonating and giving it even more vibration for it to manifest. So, so what's an empath and why are we empathic? And again, we all have empathic awareness and the abilities to some degree, but of course there's some of us who are called to develop it, to harness it much more than others. And usually when that's the case, it's because we're being invited to utilize that ability to be able to be of assistance to others, to guide them or to assist them in some way, and at the very least to be able to hold the field of compassion for others. And that should be a synonymous word with the word empath, that many empaths are very compassionate, very loving, very supportive, and it's one of their vulnerabilities, believe it or not, in that they get caught, in the emotional struggle or challenges that others may have. In many ways, empaths are called sponges, in that they can absorb a lot of vibration, lower vibration, which could be defined as painful, emotional turbulence, discomfort from others. And they don't do that intentionally. They do it because an empath is very expanded in their sensories and in their vibrational field. And because their ultimate goal is to be able to be of assistance to others, sometimes unconsciously they create umbilical cords. It's almost like they have receptors. Imagine an octopus with all the little legs, right? Unintentionally, a lot of times they plug into other people because they feel pain from other people. They feel imbalances, they feel emotional disturbances, and they plug in because their natural state is to be able to help them in some way. It's important for the empath to remember that that's not what our real goal is to plug in. Because a lot of times when we plug in, we're now altering our energy field. Think about it for a minute. When you plug into something, you're actually engaging, you're actually now merging, and the dynamics of the energies change. They have to, because you're introducing another energetic field. And so, as empaths, we need to be mindful that yes, we can feel others, but the goal is not to plug in, but just to have an awareness. And if there's willingness on the other side of this individual or these people who may be experiencing emotional discomfort, that we can provide some kind of guidance, assistance, or create a field, a healing field through healing or through guidance, so that this individual or these individuals could then take that energy, accept that energy to help them move past their emotional discomfort. But proactiveness and action on their part is crucial, willingness. And so what happens with a lot of the empaths is that they become rescuers. They feel that they have to rescue people. And they start taking on other people's pain, and suddenly their mission becomes blurred, and the mission is to save people, rescue people, and they can become very imbalanced and even ill, and totally be thrown out of their intentional course simply because they plugged in a way that's not conducive to the receiver or to the empath. Again, the goal is to be able to just provide enough energy to allow the individual. I love to use analogies in the middle of these heavy conversations because they kind of bring us down to, okay, but they also illustrate to a higher degree what I'm trying to share. Imagine if you had a flat tire, and you're not near a gas station, but you have like an air pump. Well, maybe you can pump enough air into the flat tire to be able to just then drive to a gas station or to a tire repair to then have the tire fixed. And that's a great analogy, because if there's a hole in the tire, pumping air into it is not going to fix the problem, but it'll definitely extend the ability to get to a further point, so that then the tire can be repaired. And that's perfect, because that's really what an empath is supposed to do, ideally, is to be able to guide and provide, some kind of energy, whether it's through healing or just being willing to hear and understand, or providing some guidance and direction, knowing that the final step is the individual to be able to then take themselves to a higher place, to a higher vibrational place, through healing, through reconciliation, through empowerment, and healing thyself, yes? And so, again, the empath can become very vulnerable when they feel that they need to save and rescue people. That is not the calling. The calling is to be a supportive foundation, so that the individual can have some kind of stable energetic foundation, so that they can then heal themselves through the inner work and through shifts and changes. Yes? So, what are some of the traits of an empath? Well, we've discussed some of them. Very sensitive to energy, sensitive to feelings of others, sensitive to lower vibration, whether it's, arguing, people spewing, conflict. Even watching the news can be traumatic for an empath. I know that for me, it becomes an issue in my personal life, believe it or not, in that I'm very sensitive, to conflict, or even to the way I'm addressed. If there's animosity or anger behind a statement that is expressed in front of me, I feel, the energy behind the statement. And so sometimes I'm affected by that, and, someone will say, well, I was in the heat of the moment, I didn't mean it, but for an empath, it's impossible. I always say that we don't have an on and off switch button. We can try to make believe that we don't feel it, but the truth is that it's part of our makeup. If we are an empath, there's no on and off switch button, and so it's very difficult to not feel, the interpretation of an energy that's addressed, whether it's directly towards you or even amidst, a crowd. I have very difficult time driving in highly populated traffic places. When I'm on a highway, I could literally feel the energies from the people as they're driving by me. And it wasn't always the case. I realized that the deeper I develop cosmically, the more affected I am by by the energies. And it's a gift and a curse all at once. It's a gift because it allows me to tap into to individuals, to be able to recognize what kind of blockages they may have. It allows me to do empathic work, intuitive work, medium work, to be an activator. So those are amazing, abilities that I'm so grateful and humbled to be able to possess in order to help people. The curse in it is, of course, that I often feel like the name that I've been given, weirdo, weird. I feel like I don't fit in, that I cannot always acclimate to certain situations, and it affects me in my driving. I have no sense of direction. I get lost often. I affect electronics, and that's an understatement. So there's a pro and a con, is what I'm saying. But I would not trade the pros for the cons, and not ever. I've learned how to live with the disadvantages of being so empathic, because the gifts outweigh the disadvantages. And so I hope that you're hearing that if you're an empath, and to allow yourself to be gentle with yourself and to adjust accordingly if you are also affected in some of the ways that I've described. And finally, so what can we do? I mentioned earlier about, being a sponge, and absorbing all that energy. A lot of times what happens is that the solar plexus chakra, which is one of the primary chakras in which an empath connects or hones in, if you may, may become overexpanded, stretched, if you may, because the empath is unaware, or maybe even aware, that they are connecting with others, but they may feel that that's part of them, that's what they're supposed to do. And the truth is that it's not your call or your duty to plug into others because you need to save them. It's a partnership. Somebody is willing, they come, you become a receptor, and there is an interlock of energy, while you're working with them or talking to them or counseling them. But it shouldn't be an attachment, a permanent attachment. But when it does become one, the solar plexus chakra can become overexpanded, stretched, and what happens is that now unconsciously all of that energy, is being depleted. This is the seed of empowerment, by the way. Each chakra has multi traits, and even though this is where we hone in to others, it is also the seed of empowerment. And so if we're giving a lot of that energy away or expending it by being plugged to others, then our empowerment can be compromised. How we can resolve that is again, being mindful, being aware that that's not what we're supposed to do, to plug in permanently or be attached to, the outcome or the unfolding of another soul's journey. By checking in internally through meditation and balancing, just allowing yourself to energetically visualize how your chakras are, their color, their rotation, and if it feels expansive, to just bring in, closing that expansive energy, opening. And of course, by receiving a healing from someone who, a facilitator who is aware of expansions of chakras, or who works with the chakra portals, to be able to just balance those chakras to a place where they don't have to be so expanded. Yes? Of course, stones also help. I wish Loon was here with me. I'm not an expert by any means in gemstones or crystal work. But a strong stone like jasper or tiger's eye, I feel working with the solar pletics will help bring balance and introduce fire into that chakra, because if it becomes expansive, it's become very emotionally driven. So it's emotion that's moving it, that's opening it. So balancing it with a fire element will bring some balance. Yes? And so I don't know why I was inspired to share that. As I said, I did have some questions, but I trust that hopefully the sharing will speak to some of you, as I know it usually does. Yeah, I'm sitting with the Atlantis deck. I don't sit with this deck often, but I didn't know if I was going to pull a couple of cards, and I feel like maybe I will. I know I've used this deck before. I think it was in the last video that I pulled some cards from this deck. It's snowing here in New York City. Not very much, but we expect sort of a messy kind of day. I hope you're having a better weather where you are. And I just wanted to also share, I know I've shared this in a lot of the videos, but we're so close to the Costa Rica Emergence Retreat that Luna and I will be hosting in Costa Rica on March 31st. It is for a week, and wow, we're really beginning to feel that. And of course, there is still room if you're on the fence, if you've been thinking about it. This is the time to take the leap and come out and join us for an amazing transformative experience. And also, I've spoken about the Spring Holistic Expo, which I'm hosting here in the tri-state area in Staten Island. It is on March 3rd. If you happen to be in the tri-state area and you want to come out and have an amazing experience, come out and join us. It is at the Hilton Garden Inn. And if you need to know more about it, you can visit my timeline on Facebook. Find it on my website under the events page. I'll add the link in the description. It's an amazing experience if you happen to be around the tri-state area. Come out and join us. I will be doing an invocation and dance movement workshop. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a little shamanic. And of course, I also want to thank my beautiful Patreon supporters. We've been moving along, sharing some mystery teachings there, and Thank you so very much for being part of that community and for supporting the mystery teachings. And if you have a calling or interested in learning more about the shares that I uh, provide there, I'm going to provide the Patreon link for you if you're inspired to become part of that community. I am feeling ready. Okay, let's go. Ooh, so funny. Of course, I love the validations of the oracle. Um, it is the angel. I can never pronounce it. Sarah Keel. But the card is romance. Isn't that funny? And of course, we're just 2 days away from Valentine's, so we're being reminded by the oracle to bring in some passion, to bring in some love, some warmth into our lives. And Valentine's doesn't have to be only for partners, like romantic partners, even though it's a romantic card. Be romantic with yourself. If you are not in a relationship, um, take the day to love and pamper yourself, to be passionate with yourself, to treat yourself to something beautiful, flowers, um, some candy, sweets, a treatment, a spa, facial. Enjoy yourself. And if you happen to be in a relationship, well, I said in the beginning of the program that it doesn't have to be Valentine's Day. Every day is a day to appreciate the people that you love, that bring happiness and joy and passion into your life. Celebrate them, celebrate yourself, take the moment. I feel the fire in this card, to have fun, and to be awakened, uh, conscious in the experience of the love that's exchanged. Isn't it funny? Okay, and the second card, absolutely, Archangel Raphael, cleansing. We're never above this, right? Obviously, Archangel Raphael is the archangel of heart healing, of energetic healing, and so when this card comes out, it is a reminder that perhaps we need to release um, something that's been heavily weighing on us, to heal from something that we've been carrying, something that may have happened now or a long time ago. Call upon the Archangel Raphael and ask him to help you to release and to reconcile, to forgive, and just to bring yourself back to a place of equilibrium. A calling to perhaps reach out to receive a healing from a light worker, to do some healing work. Yes, but of course Archangel Raphael is stepping forward to provide some of that guidance and assistance. One more. Never know. And Archangel Uriel, I love him. I love them all, but abundance. I love Archangel Uriel. I was just calling him yesterday. I feel like Archangel Uriel is the communications angel, technology, of course, making things happen, creating clear and quick connections to things that, may not be flowing as fluidly as they can. For the oracle card is speaking about abundance. So allowing Archangel Uriel to make all the connections that are necessary in order for you to be in that place of feeling full. Abundance is not only about alchemy, money, but support, having all of your needs met, feeling fulfilled and supported by the universe in all of your needs, whatever they are. And so I love, love, love that this card is out. We have 4 archangels, and 2 of the cards are archangels, Raphael and Uriel. And so let's remember that. I kind of feel like I want to say also Archangel Raphael represents the east, the direction of the east, and Uriel is the north, and so, actually, I'm sorry, the south. And so I don't know why I needed to say that, but perhaps working with the directions as we work with archangels in healing and communications, and of course, the romance card. Yes? Woo! Those cards are electric. You know, I don't always use them, but they have a punch to them, you know? So it was really great connecting with you today, and I will see you really soon. Thank you always for the beautiful comments. And by the way, thank you for all the happy birthday wishes last week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really love you and appreciate that. Your beautiful comments. And what can I say? I hope that you have an amazing day. Love to hear from you and see if this program resonated. And until we meet again, I always leave you with my love, with my light, and with my peace. Have a beautiful day. Don't forget I love you.